What's going on, everybody? Joe Mann here, Client Success Manager with Scaling with Systems, alongside Mr. David Balji, CEO and founder of Impact Launch. David, thank you for joining us. How are you feeling today?
Great, man. Thank you for having me. Super excited.
Thank you for popping on time as well. Dave, for the people watching at home, would you mind just giving us a quick rundown of what do you do, who do you serve, how do you generate revenue, and what brought you to Scaling with Systems?
Sure. Yeah, man. So thank you for this opportunity. But essentially, we guarantee experts, coaches and consultants specifically, to sign 3 to 5 new dream clients in 45 days, roughly. And so we only focus on acquisition and sales because that's what the most important part of the business is, right? Like you can't really scale if you don't have any sales coming in. So we like to keep it super, super simple. And so sorry, I forgot the other question. What brought you to Scaling with Systems?
What do you guys do? Who do you serve? And what brought you here?
Yep. So essentially it's coaches and consultants, but specifically they have, sold their product to 3 to 5 people roughly at minimum. And they're acquiring usually 1 to 3 customers a month, but their acquisition methods aren't really working. It's kind of all over the place. They're doing cold call, they're doing referrals, word of mouth. And it's just no consistency, no clarity, no, path of like how to actually bring in clients and how to use their actual sales message to bring in those clients. And then typically they also have like a list of like 500 to 1,000 people, and they usually do their calls through a sales call, right? So they have some sort of way established for acquisition, but it's still up in the air. It's still, not really solidified. And that's why they come into Impact Launch, because they actually want to fix those solutions.
Got it. So you're working with people that have like kind of shoestring duct tape together process, and you're essentially helping refine that. Is that right?
Basically. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. And so where did you come about Scaling with Systems? Like, where did you find them?
So it's a good question. I was watching YouTube videos of Ravi, and for some reason, because he's very good at this, he has a lot of conviction in what he does, and he provides crazy amount of value up front. And that's when I saw that, I was like, okay, this is like a mini Hormozy kind of thing. But I mean, because like Hormozy kind of started that, just dump a ton of value. But then Ravi like really, really kicked it up a notch. And when I started to see all those videos, it's just like I started to apply some of that stuff, and I was like, all right, you know what? It's been time for a mastermind. I think this is the one that I definitely want to do. And they're focused on efficiency, and knowing just some of the people from the team, like, just having that trust with them, and that the fact that hearing that they've all ran their own businesses was instant trust built right there. So
Awesome, dude. Appreciate that. Now, I guess you kind of touched on it there, but I just want to go a little bit more specific into like, what were some of the reasons why you decided to join this program specifically? I know you've been in other programs before. So what brought you here specifically? And also what separates this program from other ones that you have invested into?
It's a good question. So I've invested in a good amount of programs, but I've yet to see accountability and personal one-on-one coaching with such a high level program, that this offers. I've yet to see any other company that does that. That's number one. Number two, you guys are very big on accountability and coaching, but like you guys also offer the full suite of the team, which is insane. Like the content team, right? The setters, the sales, like anything that we need, it's literally there. And if you make an excuse that you didn't achieve what you were planning on, it's literally because of you, because you guys give every single thing based off of that. And then when like getting on the phone with you and learning about this stuff before hopping in, it just blew my mind. I literally had no objections to it. It's just like just trying to learn a little bit more because it was so interesting. The offer was just crazy. And then, when we hopped in, it's just like, it's a whole new world that you guys opened up. So it's like, any other coaching program except 10 to like 100x more, because you guys fixed everything that the entire industry was getting wrong in a sense.
We appreciate that, man. You touched on something interesting there about opening a new door. Do you remember what happened like 12 hours after you signed into SI?
Oh yeah, it was it was a lot. It was like I got all these emails of like, hey, do this, do this, do this. It was super high intensive. Got the onboarding call, we got the systems up and running, revamped the offer. Like we flipped everything upside down. And at first it was like a little uncomfortable because I haven't been in a coaching program for a while, like a couple months before, but like it was also a little overwhelming in a sense that no one actually cared that much, instead, like besides you guys. And it's like you guys, because you guys have ran a business, so you all know all the CSMs, like everyone in the company knows how to operate every part of the business. And you guys actually showed that care every single day. Like you guys show up for that. So it just opened a whole new realm of like positive overwhelm because I know things are going to get done because you guys are on top of it. You guys have the SOPs, you have the process, the roadmap, everything is in place and it's been done before. So I was like, all right, like this is the program.
For those watching, David seems to be forgetting that it took him under 12 hours to sign a 9K client after he
Oh
invested
yeah,
into SI. So
that
yeah. Oh
too.
yeah,
That too.
that
Yeah,
slight thing. It's easy to forget about. I know that. You actually kind of touched on it there. I was going to lead into this next question, but after the onboarding call, working, you and I got on a lot of one-on-ones. You did a ton of content from the portal and whatnot, especially even just the group calls. What were some of like the immediate fixes that you realized like needed to be taken care of for the business?
good question. So we were a done for you agency and it was taking up a lot. It was taking up a lot of work, a lot of effort. And we also weren't hyper targeted on who we wanted to serve. So the first thing like we fixed was the offer. And then we also fixed the acquisition because both of those were inconsistent. So the offer was kind of just like take whoever, offer at this price. When we came in, revamped it, up the price, we got hyper specific and we made it efficient. What we also did was install the acquisition system that you guys gave us. And that was, I think by far the biggest help as well. I mean, obviously you can't do anything without a solid offer. So that's the backbone of everything. But those are two of the immediate changes. And then like over time, we just improved that process as well. But if I had to pick like two, those would be the two main ones.
Awesome. Awesome. We appreciate that. So let's look back at David even 6 months ago. Let's just say we got to connect those dots going backwards. What are some like tangible metrics before and afters that you have been able to see potentially with revenue, clients, expenses, profitability, like anything tangible that you can share just looking back like David 6 months ago and where David is now?
Yeah. We were at when we first joined, it was at like 8 to 10,000 in revenue. And then we just hit like a $30,000 month, which is crazy. And that, so in terms of revenue, that's that. I've definitely learned how to manage my finances a little bit better, still work in progress, but that is a very big thing. The other thing is efficiency. So we went from a done for you to more of a hybrid. And because we found that we get better results for our clients doing a hybrid when we put them in the driver's seat of the business, but also like it wasn't as effective what we were doing. And we were just, working the same amount of time and not getting as crazy amount of results when we were doing done for you. And so, you helped me to switch over that mechanism. And now the clients are doing way better because they're in full control of their business. There was one more thing I forgot what it was. It'll probably come up here in a sec. But efficiency was big. And, before it was just like, it was all over the place and no acquisition system, no consistent leads. Like we were just manually, kind of doing the outreach. We were networking, referrals. Like that's literally what the business was relying on. And while it worked at the time, I quickly realized that you can't sustain off of that. And it's such a headache. And that's why now we actually help coaches and consultants get out of that challenge in a sense. So like 6 months ago, no acquisition. Now, very consistent acquisition.
Love that, dude. That's awesome. Now you've accomplished a lot in the last, I guess 6 months we've been together.
Mm-hmm.
What would you say would be like your crowning achievement so far? What would be like the most valuable aspect of working with scaling with systems? And specifically though, why is that important to you?
It's a good question. So for the past 2 years, our acquisition was terrible. I mean, a lot of manual referrals, networking. And that was, I think, the hardest part because I never found a one working system. And I think that's the biggest change that we had because I not only know how to do it, but like how to think, because you guys instilled the idea of how to think differently and how to be, proactive with the way we do things. So just the thinking process behind outreach and marketing and acquisition is super helpful. And you guys don't overcomplicate it either. You keep it very, very efficient, very simple. And I think that's one of the biggest things that we did. And that transcends into how we do our offer. Like, keep it super simple. Like, do whatever the hell it takes to just get the result for the client. Like, you don't need to overcomplicate it in a sense. Did that kind of answer the question? I feel like I
Yeah.
went off.
No, definitely, dude. Definitely. I think, I mean, one of the most important things you touched on there is the simplicity side of things. And I
Yeah.
think with a lot of entrepreneurs, what ends up happening is it's almost like second nature to overcomplicate it, because it's like, well, why would this be easy? It's like, well, no one said it's easy, but we can
Yeah.
make it simple. So we appreciate that, man. Thank you so much for sharing that. I got one last question for you.
Mhm.
What would you say to whoever's watching this right now and they're considering working with Scaling with Systems, either in Scaling Initiative or Scaling with Systems, the program? What would you say to that person if they're kind of mulling that decision over?
Mhm. It's a good question. So what I kind of did was like, don't think, just do, right? I mean, the proof is in the content, the proof is in the results. Um, I would significantly recommend to hop in because, yeah, there's a lot of modules. Yeah, there's a lot of things that can happen within this program, but you guys tailor it specifically to the business very, very, very well. I mean, I know a bunch of people in Scaling with Systems, Scaling Initiative, and they all have different businesses, but you guys just always show up for that business and you specifically tailor it to that. And I think that's absolutely incredible. The other coaching companies, it's like, yeah, you come in and then you kind of just join a group of like, you know, a bunch of people. And then we have these group calls and that's really about it. You kind of just get left behind. And it's up to you to like kind of be proactive. And so as an entrepreneur, like, you have so many things going on. The last thing, you know, you want to do is just kind of deal with the nitty gritty, and you guys help us out with that. It's kind of like a concierge in a sense. Like, anything that we need, you guys are always there for us, and the response time is really, really good. And I think the biggest thing is that you guys always show up, always show up. Like you guys treat. Here's the thing: you guys treat our business like it's your business, and just knowing that one thing alone, like, I've never seen that anywhere else, and I think that's incredible.
Thank you for that, man. Yeah, we care a lot about you guys, and we are forever grateful for the opportunity to be able to work with people like you. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
Before we wrap this, of course, it's my pleasure. Before we wrap this up, put a bow on it. Anything
Mhm.
else that you want to say to anybody looking, or anything about your experience with Scaling with Systems that you may want to get out there?
Mhm. If you're not serious about it, don't do it, because I know you guys are serious and you guys really, really strive for achievement, and progress and performance. So, um, who is ever watching this, if you're not serious about your business, don't waste your time, because these guys are heavy hitters. So highly recommend it.
But on the flip side, if they are serious about their business, what would you tell them?
If they are serious, this is probably the best solution I have ever found to amplify all aspects of the business, whether it's hiring, whether it's, you know, trying to build your curriculum of your program, or whether building your acquisition or sales. I've never seen a better solution to date from, you know, something in this industry.
Thank you, sir. So on behalf of Mr. Abubala and Scaling the Systems as a whole, thank you for A, being a part of the family, B, doing this recording, and C, also sharing with everybody the growth and your experience that you have had with us. So without further ado, my name is Joe Mann. David, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank
David
you
is
for
the
having me.
CEO of Impact Launch. Feel free to look him up. And if you jump into the program, let us know. We'll introduce you to him. So without further ado, David, thank you again, sir. And we will talk to you guys soon. Peace.
Thank you.